Well, this is gonna be us forever, where we have this abrupt beginning. I can't hear you, Mary, and I think it might be because
Hello, hello.
somebody's muted.
Yeah, I was I was muted, which is good because I said a bad word. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Do I hear background music happening as we're speaking? Can you hear that background
Oh,
music?
that's also my fault. There we go. I was hearing it and I thought maybe it's external, but
Right.
because it's so faint. Anyway, um, this is a bonus session that doesn't have as much to do with the core product building experience, I suppose. I did do a little bit of homework before this, so I'm probably more organized than I normally am. Let me share my screen.
You said that it's not related to the core product building experience, and I want to ask why you think that way.
Oh my gosh. I can't figure out.
This is the best. I think we want this one right in the.
um, okay, so I said that it's not a part of like the core building experience because we built it. We already built it.
I see. But I mean, what if it is in the future?
It could be.
Okay. All right.
It could be.
All right.
I think for now it's a let's see. It's like an experiment than anything else. And maybe there are pieces, like even if it's not the full process, but maybe if it makes sense to, there are pieces we can take from this experience that we may or may not carry forward.
Okay.
All right. So before I start, let me just wrap my head around what I prepped yesterday. Because yesterday Mary is not the same person as today's Mary.
Does today's Mary want to give us a general? Because you still haven't said what we're going to do,
Yes.
so we still don't know.
Yes. So today I want to do a session where, like, I guess in short, we've built an MVP of a product in the last month and a little bit, I want to say. And it's very self-contained, like students can partake in a spelling bee like game facilitated by a teacher. And it's quite de-scoped, I would also just add. Like it's not like a full-fledged everything is in this product thing. And what I want to do today is just spend, let's say, around 2 hours, we'll see, trying to vibe code it, or some elements of it. We'll see how much can be done. And I want to approach it with more curiosity and experimentation than anything else. So before I jump into the vibe coding itself, I do want to, I guess, first share what that, the live MVP looks like, because we have not really done an official walkthrough or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. We don't see it on your screen, by the way.
Yes. I'm switching between tabs.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, you added the feedback button.
I did just a little bit earlier today.
Nice. So this is Honeypot. I would say Honeypot is a web-based platform of educational games that originally was inspired by the spelling bee, but for math questions. So what we've built over the last month and a little bit is Honeypot Math, which I'm just going to go over it really quickly. So if you're a teacher, you're entering a list of players. For demo purposes, we have functionality to just generate players so that we don't have to be sitting here typing them one by one. But the idea is that if you're a teacher, you are entering the names of kids in your classroom, and then you can shuffle it. We may or may not do this with vibe coding, we'll see. And then you can edit it if you made a boo-boo. But otherwise, you can just start a game. I had a moment of like praying to the demo gods when the spinner was happening. So also, I noticed the spinner. That's nice. And so once you start a game, you see the list of, I guess, participants. So people who are competing, and you kind of go through the spelling bee like experience of just going in a list and answering questions. You get eliminated if you answered incorrectly. I hope the sound is coming through. Probably not. Yes. Okay. So we also added some interesting touches like sound design along the way. And these questions are all, how would you describe it? Like generated in the moment? I feel like I'm
they're randomly generated based off a question template set. So you define a question template, you give it its parameters. So that you give sort of premium number of seats can be from 2,000 to 3,000, for example, and then each ticket can cost anywhere from 150 to 200, and those numbers will be randomly generated each time this question template is used.
Yeah, so that's like, I find that to be really cool because theoretically in any given game you're never gonna have like the same questions, and if you play it a second time, a third time, kids can't cheat. They can't just be like, I know this Taylor Swift question because they've seen it before. And then, if they get the correct answer, they will get a happy. Yeah, very, very music choice. And then, if you answer it incorrectly, I'm just gonna skip the timer this time. Also, you can play and pause the timer in case somebody needs to, I don't know, step away or something. But if you get it incorrectly, you get the opposite experience to that groovy music situation. And yeah, and then let's assume that all the kids have gone, which, you know what, I'm gonna click a few more. Okay, let's just assume that the whole list went, and you will get game results. That tells you who is the winner. If there are multiple winners, I think like if you end the game before there is a single winner, it will just display the list. And right now, under honorable mentions, we just have whoever was eliminated in the last round. I think that's it. Yeah, and then I guess if you come back to the homepage, you will see some empty waitlist situation here. Not really important at this point, but more just that's what that is. We have not built any of these, nor we might not. We probably will not, actually. And then lastly, Adnan had just added this feedback form, which opens up just like a, what is it? Like a tally form where we can collect some information about people's experiences. And I think that's it. I don't think there's, is there anything I missed?
No, I think that's really the crux of the game.
Cool. All right. I think now I'm gonna come back to my little notes section here. And before I dive in, I think I just want to talk a little bit about where I see there are different use cases for maybe a AI-powered workflow. And to me, it's I don't know if this is easily understood, but basically the first use case is going from like a seed idea, like I want to build X, or like I want to solve Y, to having some sort of prototype, something that can be interacted with. And that's kind of what we've done with Honeypot Math in particular, is going from like an idea and maybe some ideas around like what it could look like to something more concrete, something that can be tested in the classroom. And then the other use case that I see in product building is, I'm calling it 1-to-1 A, B, C, D, but I know that's confusing. But the idea is that you have an existing product and you are wondering like what would happen, like what's the impact if you added a certain feature or like a certain change to the existing product. And I think I've done this a little bit in my past work, where you have your existing product and then you're testing little pieces or like parts of the experience, for for different reasons. Sometimes it's like business reasons. You want to change a metric and you update a couple of the user experience to see if it makes a difference at all. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because today the goal is the 0-to-1. We're not touching this, even though I think it's an interesting use case, and I think we can talk about it if we ever want to extend any of our ideas beyond the MVP phase. But today's goal is the 0-to-1 and see how far we can get to the 1. My hypothesis is that we can maybe get to 0.9, but we'll see. And then the other thing that I want to, I guess, highlight is that this vibe coding session is not meant to, I guess, be representative of the full product building process. Like you still have to do the discover and the shape yourself. And today we're really just focused on the deliver piece. I'll show this visual quickly. It's more just something that I threw together when I took some time off. But the idea is that like when you are solving a problem, first you have to understand the problem, understanding the user and the opportunities. And then you start shaping towards like what is it that we're building, and then finally it's about like delivering what was shaped essentially. And I share that just because I want to clarify that discover and shape still very important and need to happen. And today it's more just about like the deliver piece, which I like to think of it as, first you align on what it is that we want to deliver, and then you plan in some way or another, and then you just do it. And the doing part is usually the longest, but I'm highlighting this because this is kind of how I'm approaching how to use AI-powered coding tools, is being a little bit more methodical than just all vibes, I suppose.
Mary, I might just add one extra thing in the general process section, if you would please, which is that, again, I haven't used AI in this manner, but I know that I've read stuff where people are more and more recommending this pattern, which is to include discover and shape as part of kind of the AI process, where if you don't, you don't even have any discovery, and what happens if you say, I want to build a spelling bee game except for math, please give me a plan of what I need to think about. And it might give you a bunch of ideas. And then you can shape with it to say, okay, I want this, this, and this. Give me a more concrete plan to move forward. And those kind of steps are being bounced off of AI more and more as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think like, yeah, I agree. Like I definitely have used AI to do at least the shaping piece, especially when it comes to any blind spots that I may have. Like I will be like, here is what I'm thinking so far, and just be like, think like a whatever, think like a PM or whatever, like anything that I'm not catching right now. room for AI here, but I guess not talking about it today, because I think we can go way over if we want to talk about everything there is. Diving into, actually, before diving in, I guess I want to just make it clear that today's goal is to build a testable something, MVP, whatever it is, using AI-powered CDEs. And I actually am curious about, Adnan, your prediction on how far I guess we could go within today's session.
I feel like we'll get pretty far. I feel like
Okay.
I'm going to feel inadequate and my ego is going to take a hit because we're going to feed these instructions into this magical text box, and it's going to, in like 5 minutes or less, it's going to spit out like 97% of what we built, and I'm going to be like, oh jeez. Like, what did I spend all this time doing? I'm just bracing myself for that ego hit.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
97%? Is that?
Yeah, I think. I feel so, because I think the B concept is fairly standard. There aren't a whole lot of gotchas in this process, right? You have players in a round, you get eliminated if you get something wrong. So I feel like that pattern is fairly well known, and AI should be able to pick it up and be able to build something very close to what we have already built. That's my guess, and my fear also, in a sense. Like, I'm threatened by it in some odd way as well.
Interesting. I think in the past we've also talked about like the different approaches to doing something like this. Like, we could go just pure vibes and be like, build a spelling bee like math game, and then just add more context as we go. So I guess today my process is only one of many, and I'd be curious to try like other methods, maybe not on the same product, but like maybe for the next idea, like just trying different methods.
But maybe on the same product as well, so because it gives you an idea of what the differentiating factors are, and how to improve something to get how to improve your prompts to get the results that you want. But you haven't stated your prediction.
I think my prediction is that like we'll get to 0.9 and we'll be stuck there for a while. That's my prediction.
Let's see.
I think there's gonna be some pieces that will make me want to cry.
Oh wow! Okay, all right.
plus
I look forward to that. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Before we dive in, I know I've said that like 10 times, but there are like 3 different types of AI-powered coding tools, and I think most people are familiar with it just because it's all we talk about these days. But in case not everyone's familiar with it, we're basically going from like more easy to use, like usually smaller scope, to more advanced and more complex potential. So first is just using your standard chatbots. So that's Claude, ChatGPT, anything else. I know some people are using Gemini now for things like this. And you can build some stuff with just ChatGPT for sure. Like an example is like a calculator of some kind, something that's like single page and fairly well understood. And then there's the CDEs, which are cloud development environments. So that's like Replit, Bolt, V0, Lovable, Rourke. I think Rourke is mostly mobile, if I recall. And these are the ones that we will be using today. And it kind of sits in between like the basic chat interface and using a actual dev environment like GitHub or Cursor. I have played with Cursor just a tiny bit, and I'm not the most familiar with IDEs. So that's also a part of why I'm like sticking to CDEs. And then I think it's also just, for what we're doing today, I think it's the best fit.
You've done more than I have, Mary, then, because like I use NeoVim, and I've integrated GitHub Copilot into there, but that functionality is still not as sort of as built in or as deep as a Cursor or Windsurf or a Zed would have. I've not tried like an IDE that's based on AI integration. So you've done more than I have in this space.
Yeah, I think, okay, when I say I've tried Cursor, it's more like I created something using a CDE, and then like I think I just brought it to Cursor. And then
Okay.
I was able to like make a few small adjustments using like Cursor's AI like agent situation. I found it helpful with like identifying multiple instances of like the same issue. Like sometimes like you have like the wrong naming convention or whatever it is, but it's happening in multiple files, and I found that to be helpful, but
Okay.
I did not explore it beyond that one prototype.
One potential exploration possibility is for you to take the code that we have for Honeypot thus far, plop it into a Cursor or Windsurf or what have you, and then see how you can navigate from there.
Yeah, I think that could be neat. One thing, side note, out of scope for today, but I am curious about like this use case when it comes to like something like Honeypot, because like I had this idea of like a trivia mode for Honeypot, and I quote that Adnan said, "If you design it, I'll build it." But I was like, oh man, like I don't know, like what if there's nothing there?
What does that mean? What if there's nothing there?
I think that's the thing with like a lot of like ideas is that it could be nothing. Like the idea could be pretty shit.
So what? So what? What you think? Do you always go out and design just all super beautiful things all the 100% of the time?
I think.
Are you 100% amazing app designer?
I think the design is a different story, but like the idea itself,
I see.
like I think it's hard to tell, especially early on. Like it's hard to tell whether there is something there or not, and that's where I think if it works, an AI-powered process could be really helpful because then you're reducing the amount of cost, like time cost, to test out an idea. Even if it even if the prototype is not built with great architecture or like scalability in mind, you can test it faster, and I think that's where I think there's a lot of potential there, but we're not touching today. Maybe a future session, we'll see. And I created this nice meme to demonstrate what I was thinking.
Funny. That's hilarious. I did not see that coming, but wow. Okay, explain yourself.
I mean, isn't the whole point of a meme that it's self-explanatory?
Well, again, I feel like our experience today might realize some of these things. We'll see.
Well, I think the other thing is like it could be a non-plus AI.
Yeah, true. Which at some degree it was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess what I was trying to demonstrate is that like I do believe that you can get more out of like each increment of tooling.
And the non-tooling is
I like that. I like
is
like
I like that framing. Thank you.
But also, like, I think there is a lot of value in like the engineering experience that you've brought like over decades, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
And I think senior engineers with AI are unstoppable. All right, enough enough talk. My personal experience with the CDEs is that I have actually not used most of them. I have used Replit for actually back when I was learning programming from Adnan a year ago. So I actually did not use it for the AI features ever. I don't think. No, I don't think so. And then I've used Bolt once, just like playing with an idea, like one of the seed ideas that I had at a previous workplace. And it was nice, I guess. Like it was not like I designed something and then told it to build it. It was more just like, oh, I have this idea. What could that look like? Did not get very far with it. Similarly, I played with Rourke in a similar like fashion, and I have not used V0 or Lovable. So today I'm thinking, how much do I want to embarrass myself today? I think I will like maybe use one that I have used before and one that I have not. So I'm gonna pick Lovable and Boat. I think we'll see.
Do you have any thinking behind why Lovable versus Replit or V0?
I I don't know. I have used like only some of them. I have heard about Lovable being more designer friendly, but I don't know for sure. Um, Honestly, like between both Rourke and I think Replit is probably the one that's a little bit more unique in that I think you can deploy it in like without having to pull in any other platform. So I think maybe that's a pro for using Replit as more of a everything can be in one place is my understanding. And I'm curious about Lovable because that claim is bold of like
Okay, yeah,
this is
let's
good for
let's
designers.
let's test it out.
All right, so I have opened Lovable here. And I guess the other thing that I have on my Notion doc is some just quick links to my Figma file as well, because I know some of these tools, you can attach images of screenshots or like, your design exports or whatever. And I think some other tools let you import directly from Figma. So if I share, this is Boat, you can import directly from Figma, which I think I will do. Oh, I have to log in. Damn it. Okay, let me do that. I should have done that before the session. Okay, let's come back to Lovable first, because the beauty about using multiple tools is that while one tool is doing something, you can go to the other. And that's kind of nice. So I have a prompt here that is more like just a starting point. And as I mentioned earlier, the general process I want to adopt is first step is aligning on what it is that we're building. So really just about like describing the expected behavior, and then planning on like, how do we make it happen? Like, is this a phased approach? Like what's the first thing to do? And then executing is the actual coding part. So I have just like I have not used this prompt before, so we'll see. We'll all see how it goes. But the spirit of it is I want to describe the idea, however detailed or not detailed. I want to be here and then getting, actually, I should not be doing this here yet. I'm actually gonna, sorry, I'm a little disorganized. I'm actually gonna use ChatGPT for this process because there's no reason. Ah, shit, I typed it. Okay, cool. Thankfully, ChatGPT did not gaslight me. So I'm using ChatGPT because there's no reason to use up, limited tokens or whatever, just discussing what it is I want to describe to Lovable or Bolt. So for now, I'm just gonna tell it about what it is we're building. So I have a little description here, but I'm also thinking it's probably a good time to add, I will also add some design images or something, some mockups. So I'm just giving it a little like blurb about Honeypot. And I am noticing that this blurb is pretty generic. It does not really describe, what's the expected user flow. And I think right now I'm actually going to ignore ChatGPT's first question because I want to give it some images first, the mockups. One thing I will say is that I am very lazy. And so because I'm very lazy, I could sit here and try to describe the user experience and, spell out like, oh, first, you do this. First, the teacher sets us up this way and then whatever. But I'm lazy, so I think it's not happy with me because I can only upload, I think, 10 images at a time. So I'm going to have to do it a little bit at a time. There we go. So my process is that I'm just going to give it the mockups with no context. Here are mockups created for this, for Honeypot Math. There are more to come. Figure it out yourself. Figure out the UX based on this. And I think, how many did I add? I added 8, so I'm gonna add the rest. Okay, ChatGPT is like, they're really helpful. And I'm just reading here to be like, Honeypot Math appears to be teacher facilitated. Yep. Sets up the game, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think it got most of it. I'm going to continue to ignore the questions and just add the rest of the mockups. And again, this is because I'm lazy and I don't want to describe it myself. I'd rather AI describe it and I can correct it if needed. Okay. Students answer verbally, teacher clicks blah, blah, blah. And at this point, I will continue to ignore the question. I know I wrote that initial prompt myself of like, ask me one question at a time. And I feel like I'm being so rude to be like, I don't care about your questions. But before we dive into the questions, I actually wanted to get a summary of like what's the understanding of the product. So I wanted to say, tell me what you understood the product to be and its user experience, I guess. While it thinks. Okay, so it's giving me a format for some reason. I just want some sentences and it's giving me a doc. Okay, teacher-led, web-based, spelling bee style, projected at the front of classroom. See, I think it did a pretty good job. The teacher facilitator, one at a time, yep. Okay, and the game flow is home screen, teacher chooses a game, manually enter names, randomly generated nicknames. This, I'm reading this and I'm like, I don't know if it's randomly generated nicknames. So I might want to edit that. And I'm just taking a note just in case it can throw things off. Player list confirmation, and then gameplay. Countdown. I don't like that because it's not always 30 seconds. And I'm just, again, taking a note because I want to just add feedback, basically. Question appears, teacher judges. Oh, I think it's not showing like the answer. Answer should appear next. Before teacher judges. Before countdown begins. Oh, and I'm kind of sloppy when it comes to giving AI feedback as well. 30 seconds to answer. Not always 30 seconds. Based on question types. And I'm also thinking at this point, because it's starting to get more broken down, I'm starting to get some, I guess, ideas or thoughts around things that I think AI would not do a good job of. Like, I think the question types themselves and how, how they were programmed are probably not going to be something we can get to just through an initial session anyway. Tab supports only for emoji and the decoration are randomly generated. The names are just the names. Okay, what else? Visuals show if the student is moving on or out of the running, game progresses. Okay, I think this is... okay, so this is talking about a feature we actually have not implemented, which is the idea of like, if the facilitator like click on the logo mid-game, giving them I guess a course correct mechanism. So maybe this should be kept out of scope. Keep out of scope. Okay, so I think I got all the feedback and I'm just throwing it at them. And I don't know why ChatGPT is really slow today. I'm very picky now when it comes to speed because I think I got used to like things being like fast. Okay, so it's got the updated summary and I'm pretty happy with it, even though it's still generating. I'm almost like assuming that it fixed the things I gave feedback on, but maybe I should use my brain and look at it. After answering, correct answer is shown. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. I think I'm happy with this. And then I'm looking at the questions and I almost feel like I should give this prompt again because we've lost the plot along the way. So that's kind of a note to self that I'm also thinking right now because I saved some of these prompts and now I'm thinking, okay, like maybe the process is a little bit different in that, maybe I say like, here is some mockups to start and then we go into the ask me question stuff. Okay, how should questions be selected for a game session? For the purpose of MVP, so I'm just literally answering the questions based on what Adnan and I have discussed the MVP to be. For the purpose of MVP, all questions are for grade 9 math students. Choose the question set manually. There are, maybe this is a good place for me to at least try to describe how the questions are generated.
Mary, just for consistency purposes, I think our question set is more from 6 to 8.
Oh, is it?
Not, yeah.
Clearly, I was not paying attention. Okay, what questions are for grade 6 to 8 math students. There are, what was I going to say? There are, the questions are generated based on templates. And I also wonder if I should provide some examples. Fully randomized set templates in the system where some I don't know how to phrase this.
What are you trying to say?
I guess I'm trying to say like it's based on templates that vary like they are variable I guess dynamic variables.
Yeah, I think maybe what. Okay, wow. Okay, yeah, I don't know how much I should suggest things, but
no, please.
okay. The way I'd like to think about it is, why not lean on the AI and let it decide a solution for the purpose that we have. So the purpose of a template is so that eventually teachers can design their own question types. And we could give it our, like, we could say variables or give it some details, but I'm also curious to see what it comes up with, given that we give it the purpose and not the solution.
Yeah, I think that's good. Originally, I wanted to be more specific because of the scope. Like I don't want it to be like so complicated that we deviate significantly from the MVP. But I think I like that idea of like we can just describe like what it is, that like what's the intention based on question templates. I want to give it an example though, so maybe I'll pull one up from somewhere. You know what? I will pull one up from the live site because why not? Just need to copy it. Okay, so I just took an example. And I'm thinking about like, do I need to specify what the template is? I don't think I do. I think AI can figure it out. Questions are based on da-da-da. Okay, I think that's fine. And at this point, I'm thinking about like, if it has more questions. Should the question templates be fixed? Or do you want support? What do you think? And I'm curious about Adnan, your thoughts on like the reasoning here.
Well, I mean, we did hard code it, right? So that's pretty much what we had done.
Okay, so it's giving. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what we've done. How do you want the app to handle incorrect answers? Okay, so now it's asking some clarifying questions. Player should be eliminated immediately. And if it keeps asking questions, I think I will just bypass it and go go forward. When a player is eliminated. Okay, now I'm like, we did not understand what is supposed to happen. So it's supposed to be like question, answer, incorrect. X here, X is next. I think it's getting confused. So it should be more like question appears. Okay, I'm gonna just copy this because I don't want to type myself. Question appears, student answers aloud. Correct answer is revealed. Then teacher clicks incorrect. And then there's a message of some kind. Okay, cool. Okay, when only 2 players remain, both answer correctly in a round. Oh, this is something that we talked about. Both be declared winner. What do we do actually with this case?
We keep going until
Keep going, right?
Yeah, until there's one.
We should continue. If all remaining players are eliminated in the same round, select the runner-up based on past performance, declare no winner. What do we do here?
we replay the final round with
Right?
just those
Okay.
players. Yeah, so it's just the same situation. If you get
okay.
If everybody gets it right and everybody gets it wrong, we move on to the next round with everybody.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Support team mode. Nope. Out of scope. I think it's random at the start, right? Start. Do you want to display the full player list in turn order? Display full player list of the current round. Highlight. Okay, I'm getting bored, so I'm gonna jump to the next little bit. And I think the questions are good. It's more just we've already figured it out. But I can see a case like if you're building something more close to the net new side, and this can help you think through the edge cases. But I'm gonna read this one. Do you want to track and display any additional player stats? Nah. And let's move on. And I have just a little quick prompt here that just says like compile it into like one thing, because we've talked about a lot of things and I want to make sure that there's a concise summary of it. And specifically this prompt is about like what are the relevant requirements, any architecture choices, stuff that may or may not be relevant, so we'll see. And here is also like where if we care about the specific tech stack, we can specify as well. So I'm curious about like, because I think one example that I looked at was basically saying, build a prototype, use Tailwind, because the team might want that as an output. Do we care about that at all?
I think we should assume that you're doing this as a designer without access to any developers, and you don't know anything about that stuff. So you kind of need AI to do what it's going to do.
Maybe I would just add like suggest a tech stack that fits the needs of this product. And now it's basically creating a PRD. I mean, not quite, I think, but something that summarizes the functional requirements, the UX. And I think a document like this accompanied with, the Figma designs is a pretty good output for moving on to the execution or the delivery side of things. So it's just, it's even starting to put out some of code examples. And because I'm not a programmer, I'm looking at this and I'm just like, neat. I mean, I guess I can look at it a little bit more, but I have no idea. Like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Okay, but it's neat to see that, like, it's giving some suggestions on the engine, the question engine architecture. No backhand, really? Okay. Some data model stuff. Okay, well, I'm not going to read the whole thing because that's the whole point, is that I want to be at least lazy in the doing side of things. And I feel like I've done enough asking lots of questions. So I'm just going to save this for now. One thing I really don't like about ChatGPT is that sometimes I'm just like, I don't want these like styling. I don't want it to be H1, H2. I want it all just marked down, please.
I think you should tell it that. You didn't specify. So
yes.
why do you think that?
Okay.
It's not a mind reader.
Write this in a markdown format. And I'm just editing the prompt itself rather than what? No. Okay. It's clearly like,
wait, is this markdown?
apparently.
No, it might be. It might actually be markdown, but the interface is displaying the process.
I see.
Markdown, that's totally because you can put emojis and everything in markdown. It might help to be, again, you might not want to, but it might be help to be specific where I guess my question to you is, what do you intend to do with this output?
For now, I'm just going to put it in a Notion page. And in some cases, I might save it as like a file, like a markdown file. But yeah, I'm okay with this.
Well, my thought was a little bit different, maybe, and it was, don't we want to feed this to a Bolt or a Lovable?
Yeah, we do.
And so shouldn't we tell ChatGPT that? Like, why would you want to
I see.
then kind of reformat it? It's like, hey, I want something copy pastable that I can give to, or give me a file. Just ChatGPT.
I think I want to save it more as an artifact of like, this is basically the product requirements. And then I'm going to copy this, but I am not. I am not going to actually use it as the prompt itself. So this is more of the requirements, and I'm just throwing it in a Notion page, and we'll come back to it later. And then I want a plan of some kind. And I think I don't have a prompt for this yet, but I want like more of a draft, a plan for building this MVP. You know what? Just go with that. Because I think there are, oh man, gotta read. Oh, it's checklist. Interesting. Okay, so it's assuming 1 to 2 developers and a lightweight approach. That's interesting. What if maybe I want to. Okay, I'll let it finish.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what it gives us.
Game selection. What do you think? 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Looks great. Let's do it. I think.
I like this because I feel like, okay, is it? I guess it's assuming that you're working on this as your full-time job. I feel like we did that. Like, okay, that's cool. Is there anything here that you're like, bad AI, bad idea?
It's hard to tell at this point. It's not, build timer logic per question. Like, okay, I mean, it's so fairly generic at this point, and a lot of it is based on interpretation. So, I mean,
Okay.
it looks fine. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And as I mentioned earlier, like the general process I'm thinking about it through is like aligning on what the thing is and then planning it and then doing it. And because it has, outlined the first step, I guess we don't need to worry about this as a part of the prototype. So maybe what I would do is actually ask it to revise the plan given that we are using AI-powered CVEs to build it. I'm going to not be able to spell. I'm going to try lovable and bolt. And what I'm trying to look for is like see how much of it can be done. Okay, and I think I already know what I want to do, what I want to ask it to do next. And it's just like some sort of create a starting prompt of some kind. But it's taking a while to think today. I don't know. The other thing that I've read, or rather came across online and have no way of validating, at least that I know of, is that folks have mentioned that OpenAI's model is better at planning, but Claude's is better at executing, like the code writing. I have no idea if it's true, but
Mary, I do wanna point out just for now that we have a comment. I'm not sure if you've been following. I'm just going to move ourselves to the side, and I'm going to load the comment up on the screen. It's from someone called Stupid Internet People, which I don't know if it's a reference to the user themselves or to us. And it says, only in 2025 can a bunch of trend-chasing clowns take AI coding, a totally clear and understood term, and rename it vibe coding so it plays better on YouTube. Inspiring stuff. Nice. Any thoughts on that, Mary?
I agree. And who cares?
That's very fair. That's super fair. So you don't care? You don't care that this internet person on the internet
I mean,
felt like they had to join and sort of leave this comment?
I mean, I agree that it does, like, it is a term. It is just literally somebody threw it together and like made it a marketing term.
Yeah, I'm curious on what Stupid Internet People thinks about, like what would be the difference between what Mary's going through right now and what vibe coding is, and if they have any references. Like, I'm happy to get some feedback, because I think they have a clear idea of the terminology than we do. It turns out. So no, please help us understand what you think vibe coding is, or isn't.
It's a good prompt because I don't know what vibe coding is. And I don't know if anybody knows for sure what that includes and excludes. What do you think when you hear the term?
Well, for me, it's I think different people have kind of categorized it differently. One section is kind of like, hey, throw stuff at AI and accept everything that it gives you. I think another format is what you're essentially doing here, which is, work with AI to devise and execute the plan. So I don't, yeah, I mean, I'm actually maybe on the side. I'll look up certain definitions of vibe coding as you're progressing here. I'm just going to use that time to really understand what vibe coding is. And
I think that's an interesting way of thinking about it, because it's it's a spectrum of how much do you lean into the vibes, I guess. But then what's wrong with the vibes? Not that I'm saying one is better than the other. I do think there is some danger in leaning too much into the vibes. I think, for example, I was actually reading this book, which I've been reading for a year, because it's one of those books. But it talks about system 1 and system 2 thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Thinking fast and slow. And I do think that if we lean too far into the vibes and forget to, I guess, be critical about what the vibes are suggesting, we can lose the ability to think slowly. We are training that think fast muscle, but not the think slow part of it. And I think both are essential if we're especially if building things that have not been built 1,000 times before. You have to be able to pause and ponder rather than just follow the vibes to wherever it takes.
But yeah, I think I mean, I'm still gonna go out into the internet and take a look at what people have said about these definitions and terms as you continue.
Okay, cool. All right, I will continue. And I think I mentioned that I want I want the prompt now. I'm ready to proceed. And I think the other thing is I can be stuck here for a long time before I have a starting prompt, but that's not what I want today. So right now I'm just gonna say create a starting prompt for let's go with boat. Yeah, you know what? I'm lazy, so I'm gonna say boat or lovable. And I'm curious about using the same starting prompt on multiple platforms to see how they execute, mostly to satisfy my curiosity about, is lovable truly a care about design more. Okay, now it's giving me a markdown. That's interesting. Okay, so while it thinks, I'm gonna drink some water because I need to hydrate.
I'm sensing that stupid internet people did a hit and run on us and didn't stay to engage. It seems, unfortunately.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. I wanted to understand this very clear. What is it? What did it say here? A totally clear and understood term.
Yeah. Please provide the definition.
Is it a clear and understood term?
Yeah. And I do want to highlight that I've shared the fact that I'm doing this today with a couple people, and I was like, if you always wanted to make fun of me,
Now's the time.
This is the time, yeah.
Maybe Stupid Internet People 1 is one of those people.
Maybe.
I feel like you should make a list.
Maybe.
And the second half of the stream should just be us trying to figure out who of the people you shared this with,
Maybe. Okay. So I got a prompt, and one thing I want to add is, I guess one technique I really like, at least the spirit of, is telling it to not create code yet. So I'm gonna copy this whole thing and just gonna throw it in Bolt. Oh, right, I was doing Figma stuff. Okay, I'm gonna just throw it in Bolt. And I will also add, don't write any code yet. I'm torn about, do I want to attach the designs or not? I think I will actually skip the designs, unless, Adnan, you feel strongly about it one way or another.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking into vibe coding definitions. And so can you please repeat the question?
Please share once you have a definition.
I will. I'm coming close already. But go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so I guess I have a prompt that I am ready to throw into Bolt or Lovable. And I'm wondering if I should add the designs. Because I'm also curious about like what design decisions the AI would make if I did not attach anything, like if I'm not biasing it.
Yeah, I think you should do what you intend to get out of it. So I think you should feel your way through.
Okay, I think I will just send it. So it's gonna think for some time. Oh, there it is, thinking. You can look at it and be like, what is it thinking? It's just understanding the stuff I shared. And it's like, okay, I need to do this, do that. Oh, now it's coding. Why is it coding? I told it to not code. I literally said, don't write any code yet.
I think all it knows is how to write code. I think when you told it not to code, I think it was like, what?
That's against my nature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's against my programming. I'm a coder.
Okay, so it's coding for a little bit, and in the meantime, I'm gonna ask Lovable the exact same prompt.
Oh, interesting. We're doing parallel vibe coding.
And let's see if Lovable will listen to my instruction. Maybe I would try like, do not write any code yet. Important. And again, I'm not adding the designs. I think Lovable has a cleaner interface. Like, just visually, I'm more invested in what it's spinning up. Oh, and it played. I'm just realizing I was not sharing Lovable. So here's Lovable, and oh, interestingly, Lovable did listen to me saying, "Do not write any code yet. Important." That's I'm happier with Lovable already because it listens. Okay, so it's saying, "I'll help you build blah blah blah," and again, I'm not reading like line by line or anything. It's more like I'm getting a sense of like, okay, so it's asking me a question. Would you like me to implement a specific style of math questions, like number patterns, or would you prefer I focus on building out the game flow? That's a good question, actually. I think game flow, I guess. Game flow first. And this is more because I guess the goal for these prototypes is for there to be something that's testable, and we don't have to have all the different question types to be able to like test the game flow. So now it's coding. All right, let's go back to our friend Bolt and see what it's doing. Oh, it's still creating stuff.
Additionally, if you want content to show and talk about while we wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say like vibe coding is great because we can just talk while it does things.
So I've shared 2 Twitter links with you.
Okay. Do you want me to share it on the screen?
If you would please. Around vibe coding. Not to say that these are definitive. I just, I literally said, I said, Twitter, what is vibe coding? I also have a link from Reddit.
The code even exists. Because the LMs are getting too good. Oh, yeah. It mostly works. I feel like the mostly is also an interesting word that is intentionally kept.
But the context is relevant too, right? We're not coding like, medical systems that are life.
That's true, yeah.
Like, and I feel like this is a more clear defined kind of explanation of vibe coding than whatever stupid internet people thinks the clear and understood term for AI coding is, I feel like. But here's someone who has a slightly different notion of vibe coding, who's trying to also sell a course.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it goes more and more into like prompt engineering because like they're basically saying they spend. Honestly, it's like, oh, I spend more time doing thinky think things. Use the model to produce the code one module at a time. Okay, so it's like breaking things down and figuring out the process for building than the building itself. Okay, this is getting too long.
Yeah, but I just maybe the first few paragraphs were enough as a comparison to 2 different people approaching vibe coding, I guess, in different ways. It's a popular term. Like, I don't, it seems to be a popular term that's in cultural usage, at least in tech circles. And I don't know. I just, I thought that was interesting.
Cool. So in the background, both of the platforms have created the first version. Are you excited?
No, absolutely not. Again, this is only going to be a massive hit to my ego. So I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Let's take a look.
Let's see. All right, so this is Boat. Welcome to Honeypot Math, the classroom math game that's sweet as honey. Holy shit.
So good.
Okay, we need to steal this. Spelling bee, blah, blah. Okay, it's got the coming soon stuff. Oh, okay, so it's made assumptions that because I didn't attach any of the designs and just relied on that one text prompt, it made some assumptions on what they think, what it thinks should be on the homepage, which is fair, honestly.
Yeah, speed math is something that we did discuss super early on in one of our discussions.
We talked about stats as well, so that's cool. Okay. I like. Okay, so this is the enter players interface. Add. Oh, I like that. Add at least 3 players. It's interesting because I feel like through this process we can almost like add some of our own to-dos or like wish list items because I like this adding at least 3 players. Each player gets a random emoji. I feel like we don't need to say that, but okay.
I actually don't think we need to say any of those. Like, I feel like people should just, I mean, that's for me, but I guess
what's happening here also. I don't know what's happening here. Like something is not right.
Go ahead and use it. Go ahead and use it. You'll see.
So, oh boy. Okay, so there's definitely some. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, the button's just disabled until you start typing. Oh, that's funny. That was funny. Well done.
Okay, so when it's like super long.
Did you see the nickname of all these people? Take a look. Take a look at the nickname of everyone.
Wait.
And then look at the last one. Look at the last one. That is rich. That is hilarious.
That is pretty hilarious. I mean, I wrote this for jokes, but it unintentionally exposed like this issue.
No, that's exactly what these kinds of kind of pushing the design boundaries is for. It's like what if someone has a really long name?
Okay, I'm curious if. Okay, so you can delete it. That works. Let me just add myself back. So there are some like UI things that are happening, but oh look, it's a bee. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, there's confirmed players. I don't understand why that needed to be like added like from left to right almost. So I think this page definitely, if I'm critiquing it, that page definitely needs a redesign. Okay, I can edit. Oh, you can be like, I don't want to be feisty. Oh, it doesn't work though, so I guess you're stuck. Oh no, it did work. So many surprises. Shuffle. Okay, the shuffle is a little weird, but it's okay. Let's see if it's functional. Okay. Just giving some rules. And there are 2 CTAs. So there's start turn and begin turn for some reason.
And then if you scroll up, it says current turn.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. So if I click start turn. Okay, so it's got a timer. And it's telling me what type of question it is, of course. Okay. It's not too bad. Oh, okay. I don't hate that, but I don't like that. Oh, the timer disappears. Okay, it has like instructions on the side, which may be helpful at the very start, but okay, I'm curious about how they're correct and incorrect states. Oh, okay. It didn't have a correct.
Did you click on correct or incorrect?
I clicked on incorrect.
Got it. So there's no indication
of
what happened. Okay.
I'm still here. Oh, now.
Okay, I like this. I mean, I like that it's generated a random math question.
Yeah, we'll have to see the code to see if it's just like hard-coded. Review answer. Correct. Okay, so there's no feedback on like what happened. Like, did someone get eliminated? And this number is not accurate, actually. What is the area of a square with side length 8 units? Strange phrasing, but okay. Okay, so the turns are like the rounds are not working because it's moved on to the, I guess the player that qualified the last round, but it's not indicating it, and this is not correct as well.
So, I mean, because it didn't have any feedback, it's hard for me to tell what you had clicked on. So I guess for stupid and for Adnan, you clicked
correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
So that you wanted 2 people moving on, and now there's no. But maybe if you click start turn, it will start round 2. No.
So what happens if I... Okay. Oh, wow.
That's also not correct, right?
Supposed to, yeah. Okay.
I'm actually surprised at this a little bit. Also, there's a spelling error. Completed one round
Yeah.
end, but I'm surprised that it did not get,
As far as you expected?
yeah, like the basic round
Yeah.
pattern is like the B thing is fairly well defined. Like I don't think, like I mean that's the whole point of having all of human understanding modeled into, or all of human words and patterns modeled into an LLM, is so that you don't have to keep explaining what a honeybee round is and how it works, right? I say I want a honeybee pattern, and you give me the code.
So what happens if everybody gets it correctly?
Also, you had specified all of this in the description, right?
Yeah.
Like this has been specified. Yeah.
I mean, I think there is something to be said about like that final prompt I wrote, like maybe it leaves out some of the details because it's capturing a summary of everything we talked about, but maybe ChatGPT decided to leave some stuff out. So
Do you know when you said, hey, like this is a PRD, that is the one that we should have asked for, like conversion versus, I think, no, hold on. Is this it? Is this what this is? Is this the, because I think you'd asked it to like,
Yeah, so I went from basically a PRD to a plan, like like how would you implement this, like where would you start, and then from those two pieces I asked it to create a starting prompt.
I see. I would have not gone to the plan, I think. Honestly, if I was doing this, I would just typed in like a one paragraph prompt telling it to make a honeybee game that randomizes math questions.
Like just go from the PRD?
That's what I would say, because I don't think, especially with tools like this, like a Bolt or whatever, they're probably designed to use React and Tailwind anyway. Like they're not going to be using other tools, and any extra notation is probably confusing for them. But it depends on how you want to proceed here, because is this something now that you want to fix the bugs in?
I don't know.
Or do you want to experiment with different styles of prompts? Or, I mean, we still have V0.
Yeah, Lovable. So
Lovable.
I want to see what Lovable has done, and then depending on which one feels closer to to like what I actually want to happen, I might spend some time on just like seeing how to tweak things as we go. So this is what Lovable came up with. Cannot read these. Equation solver, number patterns. Okay, so a slightly different interpretation of the homepage, but actually I quite like this. I know it's like super simple, but Honeypot Math. Okay, interesting. Like, I like that Lovable. I was gonna say something else, but now I have to say gave me a flower. I was going to say I like that Lovable maintained the alliteration, which Bolt did not. So I like that. Let's add our friend here. I mean, I already like this better than the other one. Interesting. Okay. It did like the 3-2-1 thing, which I don't think we specified. So I actually quite like this. What is 7 times 8? 56. Oh, the correct is on the left side. That's interesting. What happened? Oh no. Okay, something is broken.
Oh, no, I think it's getting everyone to answer the same question.
Oh, huh.
It doesn't know what a bee is.
Interesting. Oh,
Because in a spelling bee, you don't ask everyone to answer the same. Like you don't ask everyone to spell the same word.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in both of these. I really thought, because I mean, it's actually remarkable the speed at which they come up with like all this code. You know what I mean? Like it took me like a long time to get to this layer, and so that definitely an ego hit from that perspective. But then, kind of disappointed that I would have expected them to be very good at building a B pattern.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a way I get it, because even though spelling bee itself is pretty well understood, I don't think there's a lot of, I guess, products that work the same way. Maybe. But like at the same time, I swear, like not somebody. Look, lovable is like the concept brings to mind educational games like this and that.
Yeah.
So it understood some stuff.
What is your response so far?
I am also a little disappointed. Mostly, I think this is definitely like the most complex prompt I've fed any of these systems, versus like in my past experiences, I've only like I would like just create a specific interaction and then build on top of it. So I'm not surprised that it clearly could not one shot execute on everything. I think it's an interesting tool to like potentially play with like smaller ideas that can maybe then grow. But at this point, I'm not sure if like I'm looking at both of them and I'm like, oh, there's so many things to like correct. So maybe I will do it a little bit with Lovable, because I like some of this, versus with Boat. I feel like there are more things I don't like than things that I like, even though it like I think it works a little bit better. Let me just see it again. Like at least the rounds are proceeding, even though the number of rounds are not correct. But it's also like a bit of a headache in that like, oh, now I have to describe like, you know, this is what I expect and this is what's happening. Like the QA stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, we thought that two people moved on to the next round, and then one of them gets it round, and then you have a winner. So there's some core logic there that's really
Yeah, I almost
broken.
wonder, like, maybe we can try just throwing in the prompt itself, like
the
like
PRD
without the plan. Yeah. Let me just
yeah.
see if I can find it.
I'm actually curious to see how this lovable game handles moving on to the next round with two players. I don't know if that's something that you had tried here already.
It's stuck.
Okay.
And I don't know how to reset it. Do I just refresh?
Yeah.
Okay. I do like the alliteration. It brings me joy. Just joy. What? Does the shuffle work? Okay, the shuffle
That's
works. Right. Does delete work? Oh, now I have to add them back.
56. Nailed it. First try.
Nice. No. Okay. So first,
Also, it says 18 seconds left, and it doesn't. Did it reset? Like,
I think it's a bug. It feels like a bug.
why is there a bug?
Like, how do I
Like,
describe this bug? When the first player answers correctly or incorrectly, I think, the game is not displaying the next question nor starting a new timer.
oh, it is broken. Yeah. Okay. It's just I guess it's frustrating for me because I expect this
Are you
from.
secretly happy that?
No, I'm upset. I'm upset actually, because I expect this from a person. You know, like, oh, like when a human, like when I code something, I expect there to be issues. But like when a machine codes something,
Oh, you
like,
have higher expectations?
yeah, because the machine's doing, like, you know, like that's the whole point. We use computers. Like, why do we have spreadsheets? Because if I sat down there trying to tabulate from a, you know, like a grid on a piece of paper, there'd be a lot of mistakes. That's why we invented Excel or Lotus 123 or whatever spreadsheet where you can sum a column and have zero mistakes in summation of this column.
Well, but that's like we were talking about this before. Like that's the unpredictable nature of Gen AI is that it's doing something and we don't always know what it's doing. And if it's doing the right thing, then it can get to the right answer. But if it's not doing the right thing, like we don't really know. Like what is it doing right now? It's modifying. I like that it says what the problem is, or so that if you're somebody who understands, you can be like, no, that's actually not what the problem is.
But to me, it's like, yo, why didn't you just code it properly? Like, the first time, you know, like that's what I asked you to do. It's what, were we unclear in the requirements? Like, what happened?
Okay, let's see. Oh, it's fixed.
And is this a different problem? Yeah.
Okay.
That went really quickly, Mary. Were they all answering the same question?
No.
Okay.
So now I want to see what happens if like two people. Wait. Okay, now it's only asking one player questions for some reason. Oh, it gave me a free pass for some reason. How do I describe this now?
Okay, what I would love is some feedback from you on the promise of AI taking your ideas and building them. And then this experience of what you're seeing now and how that makes you feel.
Promise of AI. I think it's early to say. I'm definitely excited to at least throw more challenges at it. Not sure if it will be worthwhile, but it's always worth experimenting with. I think I'm definitely excited about the idea of like the idea that you brought up of like what happens if we give it an existing code base, an existing product, and like what does that mean in terms of building new features on top of it? So I think that's an area I want to explore next. And then in terms of like new ideas, I think there is still some promise. If nothing else, I think there is promise in like giving some feeding some PMs and designers some of that empowerment to build something, even if it sucks. Like just to illustrate a concept. And I think I'm pretty lucky as a designer because I think design is a tool to demonstrate an idea. it's not always the idea itself, but like when you have the visual, you can show your concept a lot better. And I see vibe coding as a tool to do that as well. Because it's, I don't know, it's I definitely ask myself, okay, like what's the difference between like vibe coding this and just creating a prototype in Figma, if the purpose is to just show the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think there is some value in that, like, okay, you can better showcase, the randomly generated nature of the questions, for example.
Sure.
Versus with a prototype on Figma, it's like you can't really demonstrate that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know what to think exactly. I just feel very frustrated, even by this experience, to be honest, because I feel like it's changing the process of building, which is fundamentally like a creative process, either for designers or for developers, into a process that's like descriptive and then bug hunting, which I feel is taken out the, like, I'm not, okay, look, there's a lot of bug hunting we all do while building software, but then we also engage in kind of that end-to-end creation aspect, right? But if you're going to now delegate me to just the edges alone without kind of me getting the joy of building, then I just find that experience super frustrating, as someone who codes, right? And I don't know, so because now, like, what have we been doing for the last 20 minutes? It's like, oh, this thing isn't working, oh, this thing isn't working, and this doesn't, so now let's feed it back all its bugs. But if I'm using an AI, sorry, this is where I get frustrated. You should be finding the bugs for me. Like, what is AI? Like, it's like, like, again, and I guess I get frustrated because of the promise of, like, where I see all these people with these like tweets of, do this and do this, and Y Combinator, we want more just designers to go from nothing to building their own companies with AI. So, like, fine, I think that's actually great. I don't mind that, but it also means that you're being like, the joy of work is being sucked out of you because the machine is doing it incorrectly over and over. So you don't have to, and now you're kind of just a director who's like being like, oh yeah, I told you this. Excuse me, AI. I gave you the instruction and you did it incorrectly. Can you do it correctly this time? And then it goes and it does something, and it fixes one thing and it breaks another, and you're like, hi, AI. I feel like I told you these two things and you broke one of them. Can you go and fix that? And now that's your life now. Your life is, and I just find that very disengaging. I find that very frustrating. As amazing as this is, look how amazing this is, though, right? We gave it some words and it built us this flow of code. But then I balance that against the promise that I see on the internet of what people are saying about it, or, what people are trying to fundraise on. And I don't know if this is the output we're getting from companies that have hundreds of millions of dollars funneled into them to make a math B game, which is very well defined. I feel the instructions are very well put. I don't know. I just feel like that promise isn't quite there, and even when we get there, it's taking the joy of the work away. Is this what you enjoy doing? Is this what you want your job to be?
I mean, not the bug hunting. Because of what you said about, like, oh, one thing is fixed and the other is not. It's just there's new stuff now.
Yeah.
I think that part feels like something that needs to be solved soon, or like for it to be enjoyable. Because like, I don't know, that's not stuff people enjoy doing in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, imagine having to build a company like this. Like, I guess if there's billions of dollars for me on the other end of deploying this Math MVP product, I will do all this grunt work. But otherwise, like, what am I doing? Like, like you think this is the blocker for making money? Is like, oh, you have to talk to a developer or a designer, versus like, oh, you need to have something that actually solves people's problems and is a marketable idea that people will pay for.
Yeah, I think it definitely like only. I think the proof is still in the pudding in like whether it increases productivity at all.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think there are some studies about about like efficiency as well, and I don't think we know yet. I think there are parts of this that can be helpful, maybe. Like having clear input output for some of the processes, but I don't like. I think again, I feel like my stance is that it's a tool for illustrating like smaller pieces, and when it gets even remotely complex, like this Honeypot Math game, it cannot handle it.
Yeah. Speaking of proof being in the pudding, do you have the appetite to try a different pudding?
Sure.
Would you want to try Replit? I'm actually curious to see what or how it would function. Because on the flip side, Replit, I've used not for AI coding, but just as a online code runner. Back when they weren't even really a company, they were just like a web page with a bunch of links to different languages, and you clicked on the language, and it gave you it just ran your code. It didn't do much, and then eventually, like they made it into more of an IDE online, and then now this. Sorry, but if you have Replit ready to go, take it away.
It seems that I cannot use the agent for some reason. Is it because I've used it?
Are you out of AI tokens or whatever?
I might be.
No free checkpoints remaining. Yeah, you ate up all the checkpoints. You ate all the pudding.
Okay.
You literally
but I have not used it. I think they expired. I did not know that that can happen, which is news to me. So I don't know. Maybe do you have it open?
I don't know. Okay. No, I do not. Well, let me see if I can't sign up for an account. But otherwise, are you just like now your life is just debugging these apps that you've built?
I'm not sure. I think we're way too far from like it functionally matching our product. I think if we can get to that place where it matches functionally what we are able to do, then I might want to play with like the idea of like, oh, what could it look like if there is a new game mode? But we're so far from that, and I think I'd rather like next time I'd rather try that methodology of like integrating with the Honeypot code base rather than just making it up.
Okay, so I'm signed in.
Okay. Take over sharing.
Yeah, I guess I'll need access to the PRD.
Okay.
If you can plop that on the Notion, and then I'll share my screen and we'll get going. I really wanted stupid internet people to come along in this journey with us, and I'm really sad. Yeah, I found that comment very it riled me up, I won't lie. Okay, so I can indicate the type of thing that we want to build.
Ooh.
Modern web app, and it'll tell you what tech it's going to use. And then auto. Okay, I can give it attachments. And yeah, like a waitlist website and AI chat. Okay, so you have shared the link. Let me pop that into Notion. And these are the requirements. And here's the plan. Yeah, I'm not sure what to take. I guess it's the requirements, right?
Yeah, I think the requirements.
So just copy this. Although
somebody is
Mhm.
I'm always distracted by sirens.
Oh yeah, somebody's. I don't really. Yeah, I don't want future considerations or tech stack even. Are you able to get from ChatGPT the thing that we need to feed into Replit? Because then it'll just be pure Markdown, right?
So that's what
This
I did
is.
for the. If you go all the way down to the.
Oh, prompt. Got it. Sorry, I did not see that. Okay, I guess I'll take this. That's fine. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think this is not enough. Is this the prompt that we gave it?
It is.
I mean, maybe it is enough, actually. I actually would want to give it less.
Yeah, I didn't want to like add too much.
I'm not gonna give it a task list. And we'll go here, we'll paste. We'll just see what happens. From what I've seen of Replit, it will try and come up with a plan, which may or may not be slightly different than what I guess Bolt was like, let me code right away.
Yeah. Lovable sort of summarized the plan.
So here it wants me to approve plan and start. So it says here,
Oh, okay.
It's gotten some kind of logo. Honeypot Math Battle. Fully client-side implementation. Would you like any of these additional features? So, okay, it's got a checkbox. Additional game modes beyond Honeypot Math, difficulty levels for different grade ranges, custom question input from teachers, score tracking across multiple games. Is there anything? I want to keep it simple, so I don't want this stuff.
I like that though, like having like a approval process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of why I wanted to try Replit because I'd seen this flow from them. I don't know what the code would look like.
It's doing some design.
Some animation stuff is being coded. It also is thinking of speed challenge and other things.
Oh, I like that.
And it kind of pops things in as they're building as well. That was interesting. It's probably intentional in order to give you kind of this very concrete idea of something being built. Although
It's considering options.
determine next steps. Okay, here, yeah. Because it's still here, right? Like, and it's still thinking. And it's weird because I want to look here. So the other apps where at least the code was being generated, it felt like something was happening. This feels like there's a very small space where it's.
Oh, so you can't look at the code. Can you?
It's just preview right now.
Huh.
It's all here. But I did like how it popped something up, but I wish here it was maybe like showing us what else it was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's actually installing something, so it's proceeding.
I quite like the visuals actually.
These? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's telling us that it's writing code. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I think if AI tool can help build something at the very start, in a way that like you can then build on top of, I think that helps. But I feel like I guess we'll see with Replit, but with the tools I've used, it's just not good enough to build a lot of things. Like if you're building like maybe I don't know, maybe something that's been built many times before, then sure, I think it can do a great job. But then why would you build it? There's a million calculators.
For you, maybe you have a twist on a calculator, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Like I've seen a lot of people like use it to almost like build clones of products. Like I've seen someone try to build like Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting use case of like, here, build this page, and then I want to test what it looks like if I add so and so filters as an example.
Yeah. It's like, what, we're just supposed to wait? You know, I mean,
yeah.
This part is interesting, actually.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because like when it does like bad things, we have no way of knowing that they did something bad, versus like if you have a human that did something bad, you can talk to them and be like, what happened here? And like you can tell when someone understand if they did something wrong.
Yeah.
Or like, is there a gap in knowledge or whatever it is? Versus with AI, it's just like super confident, but it's doing random things.
It seems to be building something that seems fairly relevant. If I click this, so the code is visible.
Okay. Oh, cool.
As we go. But okay, yeah, show it a little more. So here is the code, and it's done this. So this seems something that's very something that's closer to what we built, right? Where we have kind of equation and answer and all that kind of stuff. So let's see what it. So definitely, I guess thus far Replit's. Although I didn't take a look at the code of the other ones to see.
It's a good point. I'm trying to figure out how to even look at the code. Oh, there it is. Okay.
they've actually created a database as well here, because I can see they're doing some DB push business. I didn't touch it. I'm not sure if you're looking at my screen. I just want to know that my hands are here. I'm not. I didn't do this.
Okay.
This is
it's fixing something on its own.
yeah. I find this very annoying, actually, like intensely annoying.
Which
Like
part?
this part, like if I was a developer or a designer who was like, "Hey, I'm excited. Look at this amazing prompt I came up with. Feed it." And my first hits are like these, like this. Like, is that not intensely discouraging for me to go,
Yeah, it's like, why'd you build it with so many issues?
yeah, like what just happened? Like, this is massively, like,
Oh, that's like the whole window is taken up with issues.
because not just that, but doubly, if you're a designer, you don't even know what to do with this error. Like, if you're a React developer, maybe you have some sense of like what you could do with this. If you're a designer or product manager and you see that being your first interaction, it's like, where do you even go? Yeah, this
Yes,
is
but
weird.
I think the other end is also like frustrating in that like it's like everything is awesome except it's not.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they don't put this in an ad, right? Or like a
True.
video that's kind of, I don't know, if I was selling a course about how to code using AI, okay, here we go.
Ooh.
All that talk, but it did, I guess.
The style changed.
That's funny. I guess because it had to rewrite stuff.
It's like the purple's gotta go.
Yeah, they're like, well, the AI's like, I'll make this app, all right, but not with that design.
Is there more issues? I feel like we should have started like a timer to like
See how long it takes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I want to try something after this, if I may be allowed to.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how much time we have.
Infinite.
No. Really? Okay. I just want to give it the lowest of lows of prompts.
Like build a spelling bee game for math.
Yeah, pretty much something close to that. Because that's where I generally start with like I don't do this whole planning. I'm like, if I was planning, I would just code instead. The last thing I want to do is plan. What are you talking about? Planning? What am I doing? Okay, so maybe I can do that with Bolt while that other stuff is happening. No, please just wait. But instead of words to spell, students get randomly generated math questions to answer. So I'll give it some more detail. If they answer correctly, they move on to the next round. Otherwise, they are eliminated. I'm not even going to tell it, like a screen to add players. Like, I just want a game. Give me a game. And you tell me the rest. And here we have more errors, by the way. So it's gone back to, this is amazing. Can someone cut a clip of this and send it to Replit? So it's starting super simple with like division and addition questions. Start with getting state and all that. I wonder if I can't copy this into Lovable as well. And see just, I gotta log in, sign up, expose my emails. I guess they don't design these apps to. Where did I hear of a friend? What will use Lovable for? Personal projects, product manager, side projects. It's, I really did want. Oh wait, no, it's still
doing stuff.
I think we'll need to get a different approach to get the game working. Let me create a simplified version of the game to show you how the core functionality works. Then we can build on it. It's
Why
like,
didn't it do that to begin with?
yeah, I wonder. It's like, hey, I'm having a rough time here. I like that though. I like how vulnerable it can be with me. Okay, this has started writing. Note, I didn't say don't code yet. I was like, do whatever. How does this make you feel? As someone who spent all this time, like, getting a prompt, like, how does that thought?
So that is the approach I've taken in the past when I have like small ideas. So I don't know. I don't know if there is this, like one method that's better than the other.
Yeah.
I do like the trick with do not write code because of the tokens situation.
Oh, I see. But isn't the token stuff like what we feed it here?
I think it's like how many.
Both?
Like some of the platforms are like you can only submit however many prompts per interval.
I see. So Bolt's come up with a game. Our friend here is still thinking. I kind of want to go back to REPL it, start a new one with a simpler prompt as well. I just feel like I'm the AI assistant. The AI is not my assistant.
You are the assistant to the AI assistant.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting interface. I have to erase the name.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Difficulty set. Cool. Number of rounds. That's interesting. Time per question. That's interesting as well. Enter your answer.
Oh.
So obviously, because
I see.
Yeah, we have different descriptions. So, what is it, Mary?
64.
Mary says 64. You're correct. You're moving on to the next round. I say 13.
Not bad.
Incorrect. You have been eliminated. And then person 2 is going to move on. Okay, now it says round 2.
Oh, okay.
It says eliminated here. Okay, and Mary's going to get this right.
10. Oh, okay.
Were you being serious there? And person's going to get it wrong. That's actually very nice. I mean, yeah, that's actually very nice. It worked. It was functionally correct. This is something that I would have expected as a first response.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what Lovable. I had sound, by the way. I don't know if that was from Lovable or a game. Okay, start game. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, it's multi-select.
Yeah. So
wait,
say
but
2.
Who's answering?
Yeah, it's not clear. It's gone to round 2, so it's just one player. It's a one-player game.
Oh, I see. It's I also feel like just looking at it, I'm like, this is not what a designer would want to see.
But what about this?
This is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I like this.
So I told it that I need multiple player support. Let's see what this did for us. So I do want a timer for each question. Add a leaderboard to track high scores. No. Custom math problem set. Let's see. Let's see what it does.
How is the first Replit agent doing?
Okay, so it says it's running. So let's see. So this is agent number 1.
Oh.
I am clicking, just so you know. Like,
I heard.
It's not. I'm not. Can you try the game by adding a few players?
Can't do it.
Maybe I can refresh. Let's give it some grace.
I like that it like created an animation for the honeypot, but you can't do anything.
Like that. I think this kind of stuff is what AI is like really good at. Like, look at that. Look at that little.
Yeah.
And even I think some of the things that you noticed in the other generated things about like transitions or like when you hovered over the button, the button grew. Like, it's so good at that stuff.
I wonder if it's because like there's more content on the internet about the specific interactions or like the small pieces of code working versus like more holistic stuff.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
It's building. So it's kind of designed something here.
Oh man.
And it's building.
So far, both with the simple prompt is top.
Yeah, we gave it the same prompt, right? I mean, in all, like, we have 2 different prompts, one detailed, one like blah. And yeah, that's interesting. So here they said they've added multiplayers. Okay. I like half the delete. I feel like this should be fairly generic. Okay, so now it's still multi, which I don't mind as a game technique. I think that's very interesting. You're going to get this wrong, Mary. Sorry. So you're eliminated, and I'm going to get it right. And now we're on round 2.
Oh.
I'm going to find I'll get it wrong. And then generic player name is going to get it right.
I think it just restarted the round.
Did it?
Yeah, because it's round 1 again.
Now there's a bug, yeah. So, but right before this, we did go to round 2. Briefly. Yeah, and then it bugged out.
Yeah, for some reason.
This is where I'm like, like now I gotta. Well,
yeah. This feels very far.
Hello, sir. But may I please tell you that there is a bug? That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want this. This is not the life I want. This is still building. So far, this did like the nicest thing.
Yeah. This one is great. Can we deploy it?
They even have like 2025. It's got all, There's a deploy button here. It's going to deploy Nephilim. It will deploy it. It turns out. Here, look at this. Like, I gotta tell you what a round is. Like.
I know. Like, this definitely reminds me of some interactions I've had in the past when providing like QA feedback. Like, you have to be very specific about like, oh, this is what I did, and this is what I expect, but instead I see this. And that's not a part of my job that I enjoy. So
let me share the link with you, Mary.
Oh, wow. That's cool though.
Yeah, absolutely. I generally thought that Replit would have been the best out of these, but thus far it's been the most disappointing. Um, and again, like I'm also basing it on like the millions and millions of dollars that are being just like poured into these tools.
True.
It's like if this was somebody's like side project, they were like, "Hey, I hooked up, this," and I'm like, "This is a $1 million company. I built this thing that's going to help you help you eliminate the need for developers and designers. Come try me." And then it's like, error, danger, Mr. Robinson or whomever, danger something Robinson.
I will have to try V0 at some point. But it's definitely interesting to see the differences.
Here's my absurd prompt. I want to try another prompt. Like, this is what I want. Can I tell you what I want? Okay. Like, I'm a person and I want to make money. Like, I don't want an app. Okay. I don't want, you think I'm like, I want an app? No, I don't want an app. So, but I might say, look, I want a game that's going to make me money. Okay. So here's my prompt. A web-based game that will make me a multi.
Damn, you have a target?
Yeah, because I feel like $1 billion is too much for an AI app, I think. So I wanna give it, I want to give it
some scope.
Yeah. Like, this is what I want from AI. I don't want it to freaking make a math B game. What is that? I'll make the math B game and be poor. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to take this prompt and make me rich. And if AI isn't doing that, then what is it doing?
It's thinking.
So there's more errors here, by the way. Like, even with our simple prompt here, Replit is struggling.
Interesting. I also expected Replit to do better.
Yeah. Yo, this thing is making me a game.
What is it? Oh, is it a clicker game? Oh my god, it's a clicker game.
I don't. It's like I don't know what that is, but okay. I mean,
you
listen.
Just click.
listen, Mary. Hold your judgment, okay? I don't care if it's a clicker game or a picker game or whatever game. I want my multi-million-dollar monetization, okay? This is with cryptocurrency elements. I knew it. You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna say I want this to be like crypto. I just want money. You're selling me money. Okay, you're not selling me whatever. That's what those monkeys were supposed to be.
We gotta deploy this.
This clicker game? Okay, all right. And then we have to.
I'm very curious.
Yo, right now, you know what feeling I have right now? It's like I'm gonna be a multimillionaire. That's what I'm looking at this and I'm going, woo! Here I come.
Money in the making.
Yeah. I'm already opening like a bank account on my other window. I'm like registering a business and stuff. I'm not. What do you think? I'm ready. This is what I feel like generally business people want out of AI, right? It's like this. Like, if you're this line,
make the numbers go up.
Yeah. Woo! And you make me rich. which I think is a very decent ask. Please,
Oh, man.
Replit.
Both
Okay,
of the Replit agents are.
I have to close these windows. This is unbearable. Like it's unbearable. Yo, I love this game already. I don't even know what it is. I love it. Okay, what upgrades? People have to buy things. I love it. That's happening, right? I don't know what's happening. I don't even know. What is this?
1 coin per click.
I click here.
So
Okay,
do you know what a clicker game is?
No, I don't know what a clicker game is.
So basically, like a clicker game is like where you stack the multiplier of each click. So like if you get an upgrade of basic miner, for example, it will automatically like give you more things, generate more tokens, I guess, or coins.
I'm gonna be honest, Mary. I did not know what a clicker game was, and after your description, I feel like I still do not know what a clicker game is.
It's based on addiction. That's all you need to know.
That's great. I am the audience. I am the target audience. So I click.
Yeah,
and
you just click. That's all you do.
What just happened?
So I think once you have enough coins, you can get the basic miner, for example. Like if you click on the basic miner button.
This is great. I'm going to be rich, Mary. I'll never need to speak to you again.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. This is amazing. Yo, this is the best day of my life. Oh, I gotta go up to. Okay, I'm like come on. Okay, that's enough. I can't. I'm done. I think. Where are my millions? Who do I give my bank account information to?
The thing is, I don't understand how this makes money. Like it's like making up a random currency based on the random currency.
What part of clicker do you not understand? Okay, I feel like it's very clear.
This game is like made for my dad.
Here, let me send you a link to this game.
Sick game.
Oh, that's interesting. So other people can claim this. I can already hear you playing it. That's an interesting feature where they're like, "Hey, claim this Netlify app." I guess it's in our account, but you can move it to your own account. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look, it refreshed and I lost all my money.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah. What the heck? It's a. I like that. If you scroll down, in the footer it says the mining simulator.
Again, I don't know what to say. I'm just.
It's I feel like maybe there's a lesson in here about addiction, but I'm not sure. Exactly where the lesson is.
I don't know what any lesson is anywhere. Like I feel like we got like half a Math B game out of all this experience. Right? I'll just stop sharing my screen, by the way.
No, I think I'm pretty impressed with both.
Mm-hmm.
But it could also just be like a fluke as well, because every time you put in the same prompt, it's gonna do something a little bit differently. So it's I don't know. I think it's worth experimenting with, but not something I would like overhaul anything for.
Yeah.
You seem thoughtful.
I'm just generally disappointed, to be honest. It's like I really did think that it was gonna get the Math B round thing correct. That was my thing. I was like, because that's what I spent the first half of the thing was on. Like, hey, like let's get the rounds working properly, right? And because that concept is so common, I really thought starting this that it would be like, oh yeah, here it is. Here are the rounds. Here it works, and now we can focus on making these math questions more complex. But instead, it seemed like you were kind of punted into this like, oh hey, hello sir, this doesn't work. Excuse me, Mr. AI, this thing, and then that's just so not exciting. That just takes the whole magic out of the whole process for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I also thought that the round thing would work. Like that feels that feels pretty straightforward. Like I expected
Yeah.
some snags when it comes to like maybe the generating of the questions or like
Mm-hmm.
the leaderboard even, but like I expected the core experience to work without too much tweaking. And yeah.
But I guess on the flip side is, if I'm a business person, I'm thinking, hey Adnan, Mary, you losers, it took you a month and a half to get this app working, but AI seems to be like 45% of the way there in an hour, and I feel like if you work with this, we'll get it done in a day, or 2 days, or this week at the very least, and maybe that's the ultimate sell.
As in like it's a starting point.
Yeah, but for me as a developer, I feel like, no, bro, like business person, you do it. Like, why do I have to tell the AI to fix a bug? Just do it yourself. Fire me, please. Like ultimately, that's what I want out of AI. I want to be out of a job, right? Um, Not like trying to mess with the AI to figure out its bugs. That seems like that sounds like a job I'd quit. You know,
That's true. Yeah, if that's all you do.
I don't know what we're doing at that point. I'm just no, I like where this world is going. This is going to be really interesting.
I think
Mhm.
I was gonna say I feel like there's going to be. I mean, there already are a lot of like broken ass products being built right now. Like in terms of like security, of course, like that's the classic pitfall of a lot of builders right now using AI to build their products is like bad security practices,
Mhm.
but also like I think poor usability and
Yeah.
like poor product thinking, I guess. And I think I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of cleanup for humans to do, which kind of sucks because like cleaning up is not as fun as building stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole. And I think again, my frustration is also with like the amazingness of the technology, and its delivery feels down here. Like, if someone was like, "Hey, I'm using AI to build this honey," I'd be like, if I didn't know anything, if I wasn't a dev and didn't have any experience with that, I'd be like, "Wow, that's amazing. You're gonna, this is gonna be great." And then we come in here, it's like, "Oh, the round isn't working," and this and that. So I feel like that's just like, it's like the promises here and the deliveries down here. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind maybe I'll send this to a friend who is a developer who I was having discussions around AI with. And he told me about his process and how he's able to make progress with AI. He might not watch this. He may. That's fine. But on the flip side, I wouldn't mind. I'm going to ask him if he can come on with us and show us how he uses it to solve a problem or a process, and maybe we can learn something from that experience. Because I don't use AI like this. So, yeah, I don't know what we should have done different.
Yeah, I feel like I had expected to not reach the 0 to 1 thing, but it's made less progress than I expected. I thought we would get to like 0.8, 0.9.
Yeah, you said 90%. I said 97%.
Yeah, I feel like it's more like a 0.5 at best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe at some point in the future, at a random time in the future, I would love to just try out the idea that you had about like what happens if we give it, like if we use something like a cursor.
I see.
So that it at least has all the foundations down, and it's more
Mhm.
about augmenting. We'll see.
Well, I like how you said we there, but really what I want is for you to use
Oh
cursor.
my
I still
God.
want, well, I want to demonstrate not demonstrate, but like experience the whole like, hey, I'm not a developer and I'm trying to now add a feature to this app that maybe you download an open source app. That's sort of the experience that we want to attempt. Because me as a developer, my instinct is to do developer-y things. Right, which have insider knowledge that especially being the person who built the base app, for example. And I feel like that's a little bit of cheating. What I want is someone who, at the very least, does not know the base app, but beyond that is also like not a developer. And how do these tools help different kinds of people or unhelp? Either way. The code I wrote on the Honeypot app isn't like amazing code either, so it's not like so I wonder how the AI will deal with those aspects of it as well.
Cool. Yeah, we should do that at some point.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. We may or may not do a future session like this. We'll see. Anything else you want to share?
No, that's it. We'll be back at a random time in the future. Who knows?
I guess one thing that we can't share is, are you comfortable sharing like the link to Honeypot?
Yeah, it's on I deployed it live.
Yeah.
So
okay. So check it out.
Yeah, and that's like honeypot.randomactsofcoding.com. I don't know if this allows us to like. Yeah, it does. I can add like text here. So honeypot.randomactsofcoding.com. So I add this, and I don't know what will happen. By the way, this is just.
I guess we'll find out together.
Yeah, this is it. This also has ways. By the way, this app. I know we're done here, but this app has ways of us putting a QR code on the screen as well. So as like people are watching, they can QR code it. But yeah, the Honeypot app is live for people who want to see it. I haven't shared it with anyone, but I'm trying to think who I can engage with the app, but we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think that's it for this bonus episode. We'll see you at a random time in the future.
All right, let's go home.